Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face. Welcome back. Today we've got this Motorsport Manager career going on. We're back with Audi today. We return to Russia for the second time this season. It is the only track we go back to twice. That is my mistake in putting this together. I did leave Russia in twice. It is a different layout. We've got this section of the track which is quite a bit different from the massive, almost half the track is a straight pretty much. So that is, instead of coming through here, we switch and go right around this part of the track. So it will be a lot different. I don't know whether I've got a base setup for this track, so we might not be able to get the setup as near as we usually do. Other news as we head into the race, Stoffel van Dorn has finally lost his refocused trait, I think it was. So instead of being a 4.5-star driver, or just above that, he's now dropped down a little bit. So we might see some decreased performance from him. He has been going pretty well this season. He's had a couple of good results. He's had a second in Munich. He's had a fourth in Milan, which would have been a second if it wasn't for my mistake in watching his fuel levels. Vettel, meanwhile, he had a fever for Dubai and Beijing, which is why he didn't race there. We had Van Dorn and Verline in the cars. He's got a win in Munich. He's got a win in Milan, a podium in Ardennes. It's a pretty good season overall. 4 podiums overall, it says. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it does, because he has the third in Vancouver in Canada. So he's actually done pretty well there. He's been inside the top 5 since Canada, so it's been really strong this season. But we're heading to Russia. Is the engine is useful here? As we'll see, the R engine has dropped below the average, and as you can see, we're 10th overall now. Mercedes introduced their new Spec 3 engine for this season in the last race. That has now filtered down to McLaren, Aston Martin, Williams. We can see them all at the top. Ferrari then have the next best engine, followed by Red Bull. Prema and Alfa Romeo use the Ferrari engine. Obviously can't utilise it as good as Ferrari, so the Red Bull and the Ferrari engine are very, very close because Honda have introduced a new engine. And now we see Renault have actually dropped to the back. They started off the season with the best engine. The Renault engine, which has used themselves, has dropped to the back of the grid. We'll run down, as we said. Red Bull have got the new engine, which has filtered through to AlphaTauri. McLaren, Aston Martin and Williams have all taken the new engine from Mercedes. Williams have got a new suspension, Ferrari a new suspension, McLaren a new suspension. Aston Martin, though, have made the biggest step up. They've got a new rear wing, a new suspension, and as we said, that new engine from Mercedes. AlphaTauri, in addition to the new engine, have got a new suspension. Have AlphaTauri got a new engine? Or have they just... What did we do with Alpha? Yeah, they've taken the new engine from Red Bull, the Honda engine. Renault have got a new suspension. Alfa Romeo have got a new front wing. And Prema as well have worked on their suspension. So as we can see, Aston Martin have made a massive leap up to 6th overall in terms of the best car on the grid. We continue to be in 5th. Engine power will be, well, it won't be down, but our power unit in comparison to the others is down. Renault still continue to be 2nd best overall. Ferrari really strong. Red Bull 3rd and Mercedes 4th. As we head into the business end of this season, as we can see, it's 1 point between Ferrari and Mercedes as we head into the final few races of the season. We've got 5 races left, including our race today. 58 points back is Lewis Hamilton from Charles Leclerc. Leclerc has won 5 races this season. Yeah, Vettel's the best in terms of winning race. Obviously he set out 2 races earlier on in the season. Our car wasn't the best overall then, so it possibly wouldn't have picked up as many points, but what can we do? What can we do? We've had a pretty good season so far. We can't complain about it. But we're heading into Russia now. Factory staff are idle because we don't have anything to do on the car. We'll select Audi as we usually do. I don't think there's going to be rain. Tyre wear is very high. We are using the hards today, which can go down to 0%, which before they fall off a cliff, so I'm guessing we're going to have to do that. It is 47 laps. Hoping for a good race. The cars are absolutely equal, but as usual, Vettel is somehow happier with it than Van Dorn is. I don't know why, but we're going to jump in. We're going to get through practice, which you don't get to see, unfortunately, because nothing much happens apart from the cars just going round and round and me adjusting and tweaking the setups a tiny little bit. Don't do much, but we'll be back in a second for qualifying here in Russia. So practice is over. The Ferraris were quickest. We were 4th and 5th. Van Dorn actually a little bit quicker than Vettel here. Will you stop scrolling? I don't want to scroll. Van Dorn a little bit quicker than Vettel. This doesn't really mean much in the terms of thing. I was hoping to see some improved performance from the Aston Martin. Lance Stroll currently running in last place after practice. I don't know whether that's going to carry through to qualifying, but we'll get into it. Hopefully we see all those upgrades from Aston Martin translate into some pace for them. They have fallen off. They did have a decent-ish start to the season. They have fallen off since then. I don't know what the last setup we did was. We're pretty much there with Van Dorn, so I'm going to go ahead and save this setup because I don't actually have one save for this track. We didn't actually get there with Vettel. They're pretty similar on the setups. We can change it once before Pat Furman. We did get to 93%. It was better that way. We're going to drop that down a tiny little bit. And we'll leave those as they are because they're near enough. We can't do much more. I don't want to mess with it too much and go wildly the other way just in case that doesn't work. But Vettel's setup here, not as good as Van Dorn, which is possibly why he's a little bit behind, and we're going to get Van Dorn out early. I don't think there's going to be any rain on track during this session. And we get a good look at this new part of the track that we swing up into. Instead of going straight down here, it's now barricaded off. We go all the way around. Quite slow, a couple of slow corners. It slows this track down quite a lot. We've got most of the cars out on track. We're going to get Vettel out around about now, hopefully. We just got a static camera again. We have. Are we actually on this part of the track? Where are we on the camera? There we go. This is actually quite a good camera angle. We can't zoom in or out from here, but oh, and then we switch back to Vettel now that he's coming around. So hopefully we can get something out of this. Who is out on track at the moment? Who is anyone going quickest? Who's on a lap? Van Dorn is the first guy out, being slowed down. That's an AlphaTauri in front of him at the moment. Where is he on track? Who's in front of him? It is Pierre Gasly in front, although Pierre Gasly is on an outlap at the moment. I would feel that he is. Well, of course he is, because he's not going to be in front of Van Dorn. Van Dorn goes quickest. Obviously he's the first person to set a lap. We've got a Red Bull going quickest. Williams, Magnussen, he's going pretty quick in sector 2. It's going to be quick for him. Hulkenberg goes quickest, but is immediately outdone by Carlos Sainz. Vettel not far off the quickest first sector, slowing down there. Where's he going to be? Is he going to be in front of Van Dorn? He goes 6 overall. Van Dorn, well, they're dropping down a little bit now as Hamilton goes quickest. We just speed up and see what everyone sort of does over the first lap. It is currently the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton on pole position, followed by Daniel Ricciardo in second in the Renault. Then we've got a Red Bull and another Mercedes, the Williams and Magnussen. We saw that really early on in the season, that Magnussen in that Williams was getting a lot out of it in qualifying, but then the Williams not able to hold up to the race pace. Whether that is a lot down to the engine catching up. If Mercedes put a decent engine in that Williams car, it is able to perform at some tracks. Obviously Nicolas Latifi in the Williams as well, not getting as much out of that. He is 6/10 down on his teammate. As we see, the Aston Martins all the way at the back of the grid. I thought we were going to see some improvement from them as well. They do have that Mercedes engine in the car. We're currently 6th, 10th and 14th. We've got cars going a little bit quicker as well now. Who just jumped up? Was that Bottas that jumped up into the top 10? So we're going to get Van Dorn out. We'll leave it a little bit longer until we get Vettel out. We've got a lot of cars going, haven't we? Is this? No, we don't really need to come out now, but just to keep it with the AI, we don't want to gain too much of an advantage by going out too late, although we are the last car out on track at the moment. Van Dorn has slipped all the way down to 18th. Vettel is currently 14th. So the second laps look to be improving here as the weather stayed the same. Is that why the track grip's a little bit better? So we should improve over this lap. Hopefully we're going to see improvement from Van Dorn over the first sector. We do. Almost 3/10 down on the pole lap, which is done by Hamilton at the moment. Ricciardo's slower over his first sector, so is Alonso. Hopefully Vettel can improve over his first sector as well. He's much needed. 1/10 down on Lewis Hamilton at the moment, who's setting a quicker time. It doesn't say he's got the best sector of either of those. Verstappen is quicker in the second, or the quickest in the second sector. So Hamilton is currently first. Not far behind is Daniel Ricciardo. I think Van Dorn's done his lap. He hasn't improved. Verstappen goes first. Where is Vettel going to get here? Vettel gets up into 12th. So as we see, the other cars upgrading their engine hasn't done us any favours at all. We see a Haas in the top 10. We've got a Williams in the top 10. Ooh, we'll just go straight past that. I'll have a proper look at the where everyone has qualified when we go down the qualifying grid. As it is, we've got both cars outside the top 10, which according to my own rules, we got there in the end with Vettel there. According to my own rules, we can go for the hard from the start Is that something we want to do? It is a long race, 25. I think Vettel can get 27 off these. Like, Vettel could one stop from a hard to a medium. That is out of the question for Van Dorn. He is going to have to two stop. But two stop for what? So should we? He can go 20. He can go medium, medium, soft, or he can go soft, soft, medium. That would be a bit of a stretch. So we'll go medium, see what he can get out of that. Meanwhile, we might one stop Vettel. Is he going to lose too much time though, going on a hard? Or should we try and move him up the order with the soft tyre? I'm guessing the AI is going to two stop. There's no way. See, he can just about one stop. No, we're going to go a little bit more aggressive with Vettel. We've got to push things here because, as we've seen, we don't have the quickest car. We've got to do something to try stay, well, get ahead and have a decent start in this race. So we're going to go possibly two soft tyres for Vettel. I think we're going to go on to the hard at some point with Van Dorn. I think that does need to be done, so we'll take the hard bonus for him. And we'll jump in. Let's get on to the qualifying grid. We've got the silver arrows on the front row of the grid. That is Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, 1-2 respectively. Daniel Ricciardo still has that dodgy neck, finds himself in third place. And then we've got a Haas all the way up in fourth place. Absolutely amazing from Chico. Sergio Perez in fourth place. Then we've got Fernando Alonso in fifth in the Red Bull Honda, followed by Kevin Magnussen with that new Mercedes power unit in that car. Sixth place for him. Absolutely amazing. Then an Alfa Romeo, seventh for Antonio Giovinazzi, ahead of the Works Ferrari. Nico Hülkenberg, eighth place. Charles Leclerc all the way down in ninth place. I was wondering where he was going to come. He has scraped into the top 10. He is followed by Carlos Sainz in the McLaren with that new Mercedes power unit as well. Bottas is 11th in the Alfa Romeo. Then we make our first appearance in 12th with Vettel. Newgarden is 13th in the Haas. Ocon 14th, a long way down in that Renault. He's out of the Mercedes umbrella now, but he could still be pushing for a place there, but not with these performances. Obviously, the main name for that second seat, if Lewis does decide to move, would be George Russell, but who knows what's going to go on with Mercedes. Robert Schwartzman is 15th in the Prema. Jerry Vips is 16th in the AlphaTauri. Norris a long way down, 17th in McLaren, 18th for Van Dorn. A little disappointing there, just ahead of George Russell. Their upgrade is not working for them at all. Aston Martin, 19th place. Nicholas Latifi, 20th in the Williams. Albon, 21st in the Red Bull Honda. That is pretty shocking. Followed by Mick Schumacher, 22nd in the Prema. And then we round out the grid with Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri, 23rd. And then Lance Stroll, really disappointing, 24th place for Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. Maybe his dad's not going to keep him around. Aston Martin won't be wanting to fight for top 10 places. Oh, Vettel's off to a flyer there, but he gets slowed down by the McLaren of Sainz. He does get a good run down the outside. He's got two Ferraris in front of him. That is Hülkenberg. He gets past Hülkenberg. He gets past Magnussen. Can we make that stick on Magnussen? Let's go a little bit more aggressive. I feel the... Yes. Oh, who was that? Lando Norris. What the... He's under investigation. I'm guessing he's going to get a drive-through from that. He's got the quickest first sector. That was... Yes, he has. We've got the red mark on there, which I think does mean a drive-through penalty. So Vettel is... We've lost the chase camera. So Vettel has made a good start here. Van Dorn is just falling away a little bit here. Should we just... Let's just go auto drive. I want to concentrate on Vettel for a little bit. I want to make sure he can stay ahead there. We've got Norris pulls into the pits for his... Well, doesn't pull into the pits. He's got a drive-through penalty. Vettel, meanwhile, has got past Sainz. We're trying to get past Kevin Magnussen here in that Mercedes-powered Williams. That power unit doing good for him, but we should have the better aerodynamic package. Come on. Around. It's a little bit slower. If this was the Russia that we go to in the first part of the season with that long straight, we shouldn't be able to do this, but this straight does get cut off now, and there we are. We do manage to get past. We are behind Nico Hülkenberg. Where's Leclerc? Leclerc, he was 11th. Well, no, he's battling away with Joseph Newgarden at the moment. Falling behind Newgarden. It looks like he's going to get the move done on Sainz, although he doesn't in the end. And we're up into 6th place, and we've managed to get past Hülkenberg as well. And Vettel locks up, so I'm guessing we've pushed a little bit too much, but we do want to make this move on Fernando Alonso as well. So it does seem like the right decision to have gone onto that soft tyre from the start. And we're going to cool down a little bit here. I'm guessing that's what the AI is doing as well. Yes, everyone else is just sort of cooling down at the moment. We do have Van Dorn just in auto at the moment. We'll just leave him there because he's a little bit further down. He is moving back up the order though. He's into 16th. Don't want him to go through that medium too quickly, so we'll just have to keep an eye on him whilst he's doing that. Meanwhile, we've had a really good start. Vettel has moved from 12th place up into 6th place, is 131.3. Look at that. Look at that from Hamilton, a 129.5. It's Perez behind him. I guess Perez is holding Verstappen up. Hamilton managed to get the jump on his teammate. Everyone's just sort of bunched up because we've got a Haas currently running in 2nd place here. Which is why everyone's just sort of bunched up here. Verstappen not managing to get past at the moment. And I think we're going to go for it as we hit this little bit of a straight. We're pretty comparable to the Red Bull in terms of power. Oh, and Alonso locks up there. And do we have the run on Daniel Ricciardo here as well? We do have more power in our car than that Renault. And there we go. Vettel manages to get past Danny Rick as well. Aggressive, aggressive all the way here around Russia. Seemingly working out for us. Van Dorn's used a lot of fuel there. He's on auto drive. He's using a lot of fuel, although we've used about the same with Vettel, but just have to keep it. Yeah, it is switching. He is pushing. He's currently 16th place. There is a big gang of cars in front of him. We're just going to take back over here. I want him to push. We're going to try to be ultra aggressive with Van Dorn as well. Got nothing to lose with Van Dorn. As usual, we'll use him as a little bit of an experiment. As we see, Hamilton has flown off into the distance from the Haas of Perez. We've gone through this tyre pretty rapidly. But we've got to be aggressive if we want points, especially a lot of points in this race. We've got to be aggressive. It has got us up into 4th place going through the tyre. Ricciardo's done about the same. Perez has done a really good job of hanging on to those tyres though. He's currently at 71% to our 54. Hamilton has a 65, so Perez, a masterful job of just holding on to that 2nd place. He's managing to get away from Max Verstappen now as well, as we're coming up onto the back of Max. Should we try push as well? Track position's king here around this Russia track, it seems like. It seems like overtakes are hard to come by unless you are really aggressive. Can we make a move on a Mercedes here? We have, up into 3rd place. I mean, that was too easy from Vettel. I mean, I guess they're not really high-speed corners, though. They're quite slow corners. We don't really have the front wing. We do have the best rear wing in the game. Oh, Vettel locks up again. Takes another 5% off his tyre. Look at that. We've gone through that medium pretty rapidly as well with Van Dorn. He's currently running 14th. He's currently stuck behind Esteban Ocon. We're just super aggressive with him at the moment. He's got a lot of work to do to recover fuel. But yeah, we're still running 3rd with Vettel. We're just going to cool down because we'll cool down with Van Dorn for a little bit. We just need to try get this little bit of a gap now over this Mercedes. Thankfully, he's battling away with Daniel Ricciardo at the moment. As you see, we've used so much more of our tyre at the moment. We're going to have to start thinking about pitting any point now. Should we get in pretty early? How long's a pit stop here? I'm guessing it's the usual 20 seconds, which would put us in a hell of a lot of traffic. So we do want to stay out as long as we can. Really, Schumacher and Stroll, it looks like have had a coming together. They're both in to fix parts on their car. And we cool down a little bit. We're going to get going with Van Dorn as well. He's currently 14th. Still close to Esteban Ocon in that Renault in front of him. Hopefully we've got enough pace in this car to get a podium. Obviously, we are going to have to come into the pits and... yeah, we're going to have to come into the pits and come out in traffic. Because we've gone through this tyre pretty rapidly. We're possibly going to have to go hard. I don't know how much more we can get out of this. A soft tyre we can run down to 10%. We do want to take it as far as we can, and maybe if we push this lap, it's not even really worth pushing. 19%. Can we get another lap? It's going to be pretty close, isn't it? To try and get another lap out of this tyre. No, we're gonna have to go this lap, are we? 15%. No, I think we can just about get another lap out of this tyre. Oh, we've got a Mercedes in already. We've got cars coming in already. So maybe not even try conserve. We're going to have to come in 16 and then onto a hard. Should we go another soft this early in the race? We can do 27 laps, 22. That is just too much. So we can go soft again and try work our way. I think it's going to be what we're going to have to do because we've got traffic to try and get through. So we are going to need the soft tyre rather than going hard and then soft to finish the race. We do need to try clear some traffic here. This tyre's about to drop off, but we should be able to get to the pits before it does so, just in time. There we go, nice quick pit stop. And then if we come out, we do have some room to push since we know we've got the backup of the hard tyre to go for. We do have a lot of fuel to recover. We're out in a 13th place, which thankfully is a little bit of clear air. Means we're out in front of Ricciardo. There's a car in front of Ricciardo, and that is the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. So 13th, that is not too bad. It's not too bad from us. Are we catching up now? We're making up time here. If we can get an undercut working, we might be able to clear Verstappen. And then we know we've just got one more stop to make. This medium can go down to 5% as well. So we might as well get pushing. We've got a lot of fuel to recover. I don't think we're going to be able to make the move on Ocon, but we're going to get in with Van Dorn on this lap as well. I think we're going to do the same with him as well. If he's got 25, he's going to go on to his soft tyre and try and make some moves early on here. He's currently running in the 8th place, but he does have that pit stop to make. We've lost the chase camera again. Let's just see, we haven't actually used this camera in a while. We're currently on the back of Robert Schwartzman at the moment, being held up a little bit. We're going to go try and make this move down the pit straight. Can we get it before we actually get there? We can. So that is absolutely perfect. Perfect from Sebastian Vettel. Van Dorn is into the pits, and that is going to be out almost into last place, 22nd. He is out now. And I guess, should we just push for a little bit? Look at that, 1.7, we're over with the fuel on both of our cars at the moment. Vettel is currently doing a 130.0. We're currently 29 seconds behind. I think we picked up about 6 seconds over Hamilton through the pits. I think we might get the jump on Perez here. Obviously Perez will be on fresher tyres. Perez is into the pits. There he is stopping. We're going to come down the pit straight now. And there we go, we've got the jump on Perez as well. Obviously, we're in a hell of a lot of traffic. We're going to be conserving now. Perez has come out onto a medium, though. He's come out onto a medium, which bodes well for us. Hamilton has made his pit stop and got out into the lead as well. Leclerc currently running second, but does have to stop. Van Dorn is a long way behind. We'll just put him in auto drive. We really want to concentrate on Vettel here. We need to clear this traffic as well. So we're going to push a little bit more. We do have a lot of recovery to do before the end of this race. We might as well do it now since we've cleared a little bit. We're almost on Ocon, although we are now on Ocon. We want to clear Ocon as well. We're risking a lot trying to clear this traffic that's in front of us. Ocon is on a pair of used hard tyres. We should be able to clear him, but we do need to do it quickly because Ocon is currently running a 131.6, currently a second quicker. And it is Bottas is going to come into the pits, which will clear Perez. We do get that move made on that Renault, absolutely brilliant. And now we've just got an Alfa Romeo to clear as well, although he should be coming in after this lap, should Antonio Giovinazzi. If we can get this move made over this lap, we're now clear of Perez, although Verstappen has got past Perez, which is going to be our main bone of contention later on in the race. We do need to clear. And Giovinazzi's coming in, so maybe we should just try conserve a little bit now. So we do have a little bit of fuel and tyre to play around with at the end of the race. We're about 3 seconds clear of Verstappen at the moment. Van Dorn is currently running 19th. There is a massive gaggle of cars in front of him, but there we go. Leclerc, Giovinazzi coming to the pits. We got into second place. We still have Ocon running on those used hard tyres between us and Verstappen, which is good for us at the moment, although Ocon will be coming in at any point around about now. I don't know when the AI is going to try and get off of that hard tyre. It can go all the way down to 0. So he might be running there for another couple of laps. Meanwhile, we're at the point now where we can get onto a hard tyre and see ourselves through to the end of the race. Obviously, we've got quite a little bit, well, not quite a lot of life, but we've got some life left in this soft tyre. We've about gone halfway through it, but Vettel is currently doing a 129.4, which is about 4 tenths slower than Lewis Hamilton, who's just set the quickest lap of the race. What is Verstappen doing at the moment? A 129.8, so he's slower than us at the moment on that medium tyre. I think we're sort of going to be able to get through to the point where we might even get Vettel onto the medium rather than the hard. If we see a medium tyre is doing a 129.8, is there currently anyone on a fresher hard tyre? Obviously it's not a great comparison seeing a 130.8. What sort of difference is there between the hard and the medium? It's sort of a little bit hard to see. There doesn't seem to be much, but these guys running down here on the used hard are at the 133. Is anyone on a used medium? Schumacher. Sort of looks like the mediums might be the better tyre around here to go on to if we can get that far. We do need to go about another 7 laps if we can do it. If we can stop around about lap 29 for a medium. It does say 22 for Vettel. But I do want some room to play around with that tyre if we do need to defend from Max Verstappen as Ocon comes into the pits, which should release Max Verstappen. Whether it will do or not, and we know we're going to get the undercut on Max Verstappen as well because he's going to be going a lot longer. Ocon comes out into 16th place. That is not good for him, and that puts Van Dorn up into 12th. So Van Dorn does have a chance of points here because Vips does have to pit. It does mean we have to get somewhere close to Newgarden. So should we take back over a little bit now? I mean, I don't really want to because it's just a matter of recovering at the moment for Van Dorn. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We've got to. It's sort of cheating. It's not really cheating, but let's get it back into our hands of what Van Dorn is doing. He does have some room to push at the moment. We're just about recovering the fuel. We can't really push him too much, which is the same as Vettel at the moment. Verstappen is clear, but we're pretty similar. We're pretty similar. He's gone into low mode at the moment. Let's just see what it's like over this next lap. And then we can decide what we're going to do with Vettel. Vettel does a 129.8. Verstappen has come round and done a 129.8 as well. So we're holding it. 5-second gap. This could be another podium for Sebastian Vettel. Would be his 5th of the season. You probably remember better than me because we went through it before the race started. We've got Stroll in last. Where is Russell? 17th at Aston Martin. Aston Martin not performing. I'm guessing they would have wanted to see more out of that. So 22 laps remaining now. What can we get out of this tyre? We don't really want to push it too much. Verstappen is still 5 seconds behind. It's slowly gaining on us, but we're going to go on to another tyre. 38. I'm guessing we're going to come out into traffic again. Possibly just Daniel Ricciardo. So should we get pushing? Should we go for a hard tyre? Let's push a little bit here. See if we can get this gap. We want to sort of clear Ricciardo and get out into this little gap here. Is what we want. So if we pitted now, would that say we would be in 8th place? Yes, we would be in 7th place, which would be... Are we going to clear Leclerc? Is the pit lane really short here? Is it because we cut out that last bit? It says we'd be in 7th place ahead of Charles Leclerc. Yeah, it says we'll be battling, but close to Danny Rick. So I'm guessing it's going to put us in between. Yeah, it's going to put us there, isn't it? Oh yeah, because Leclerc, I'm looking at it like, what's happening? Yeah, because we're coming in. So Leclerc would be 6th place at that point. Yeah, that is it. So, we've got this right. And switch back down, try and get this last lap out of this. Which means we can get onto a medium now. We've got a little bit of room maybe later on in the race. These tyres shouldn't fall off at this point. Van Dorn, meanwhile, he's going round one more time as well. He's going to get in. It's going to be a little bit tight for him on the medium. He has gone medium to soft. We're going to do it though because we want him. It's worth the risk. He's currently running in 10th place at the moment. Moves up to 9th as Newgarden has come into the pits. We do want to keep him in and about that 10th place. Although, is this tyre going to fall off the cliff for Vettel around here? No, I think we're just about going to get into the pits. Absolutely perfectly timed. Vettel gets out. Leclerc has... No, that is Hulkenberg who's coming into the pits. So we get out into 6th. And we've got a nice bit of clear traffic there, which is just what we want. We've got about 4 seconds in front of us. So we've got a little bit of room to pick up time. Van Dorn has come into the pits. He's going to come out way down the order, all the way down in 22nd. We're going to concentrate on Vettel for a bit, so we'll put Van Dorn back into auto drive. I think I'll just leave him in that till the end of the race, as we want to concentrate on getting this podium once again. Who's coming to the pits? That is Fernando Alonso, who's come in for Red Bull. Vettel is currently now 5th overall. It's about 12 seconds back from Verstappen. So are we gaining? We're gaining on Hamilton, which means that 5-second gap that we had over Max Verstappen might be a little bit more once he's come into the pits. Verstappen, don't know when he's going to pit. Who is that behind us that's coming into the pits? Is that someone else? 6th place, it's Danny Rick about to make his 2nd pit stop. Renault not doing a bad job of their pit strategy in this race. We usually see them totally mess it up. I'm guessing there's not much room to mess up a pit strategy, although I'll say that they'll probably go onto a soft that they'll blast through. Oh, they've gone hard. I mean, you can go soft from that point. You can go medium. Oh, just went through a McLaren then. Went through a McLaren. But Vettel now 37.2. We're still holding that 12 seconds. We're going to push a little bit, try and get that gap up a little bit more as well. Leclerc's about 2 seconds up the road. We're closing in on Leclerc as well, but he's going to be pitting at some point, and he's going through these tyres pretty quickly. Yeah, the AI is in control. Don't get those tyres too hot. We do need them to make the end of the race. Maybe we should step back over and just let that tyre cool down. So what are we at now? Gaining on Lewis. Obviously we've got no chance. Lewis is just a mile out in front. He could pit and still come out in front of Verstappen. So it's all on when Verstappen wants to pit. And we're going to have to start recovering as well now with Vettel. Possibly run medium till the end of the race. I don't really want to go into low mode, but I don't think we have to before the end of the race. The Aston Martin's all the way down at the back of the grid now as well. Van Dorn slowly moving back up. Hamilton is the first of the Mercedes to jump. He's going to get back out on a soft tyre. Verstappen is going to have a soft tyre though as well, I feel, for the end of the race. They've gone the opposite strategy to us, whereas we went soft, soft, medium. The Mercedes has gone soft, medium, soft. Swapped it about, so Verstappen is going to be challenging us, and Verstappen's coming in this lap. We're about straight behind. This distance is what we're behind. So should we watch Verstappen come into the pits and see it from his perspective of where we're going to be, and watch for us coming past? So Verstappen is in, and there we are coming around the final bend. I'm hoping we still got about 5 seconds over Verstappen out of the pits. Is what we need as we switch back now. Verstappen comes out behind us, and it is almost 6 seconds, 5.5. So can we hold this now to the end of the race? I mean, we're in form recovery mode pretty much. We need to see everything through to the end of the race. Perez is in front of us. He still does have to pit, but he's held on remarkably in that Haas. Absolutely brilliant. Van Dorn, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard for Van Dorn to get up into the points at this point. We're just cooling everything down. He can get back up into high mode. He's got a gap in front of him to Nicholas Latifi and a Williams, who does have to pit. But it is, Verstappen is going to be closing in ever so slowly. I mean, we probably do have a lighter car than him, which is working in our favour since we're a lap over. We're a lap over target. It's just about whether we can hold it. Let's see what we do over this first lap. Obviously, Verstappen did go to a medium tyre though, which is good for us. He's gained about a second though. What did he do through there? 128.3 to a 129.1. Although he's not going to be able to push at that level for too long, as Van Dorn moves back up into 14th place now as more cars start to come into the pits. Bottas is a target, Vips is a target, Latifi is a target, would put him into 11th. And then it's a bit of a gap to Danny Rick then, isn't it? So I don't think it's possible to get Van Dorn up into the points, or at least not easily. We don't have much room to push either. We don't have much room to push with Vettel, whose tyres are pretty cool here. And Verstappen is closing in. Is Verstappen starting? No, Verstappen is still pushing. We need some heat in these tyres. Oh, Leclerc ran wide, it said. Where's Leclerc? He's currently 6. At the moment, he's got his teammate in front of him. What is it? About 2 seconds to his teammate, but he's under pressure from Sergio Perez, who's just made his second pit stop of the race. Would be good. Both Haas is currently running in the points at the moment. Both Haas is in the points. It's a bit of a change. 3 seconds. Verstappen is still coming. We're going to have to go attack to try and get some heat. There's just no heat going into these mediums at all. It says we can do 11 laps, so we do have some room to push. Just try and get some heat into these tyres. Currently 2.8 seconds in front of Verstappen. Let's speed up a little bit and follow Vettel around. We come around, we go and do a 128.0, a little bit quicker than Verstappen now. We might be able to hold this gap up and stay ahead of Verstappen. Van Dorn still waiting for Latifi to pit. Can Latifi get to the end? I don't think he's going to be able to get to the end of the race on the hard tyre. Is he going to be the one car that can do this race on a one stop? Has it gone hard? Yes, he has. Look at that, hard to a hard. I wish the game would force everyone to use 2 tyre compounds during a race. I mean, because if everyone did that, you can do this race going hard and doing a one stop. Obviously, it's not the quickest way around this circuit because the hard is, when they're at the freshest, about 1.4 seconds off the quickest tyre compound for the weekend. But we can't do anything about it. We're 4 seconds now ahead. We've got this tyre in optimum temperature. We've pulled the gap back. We're doing we're 1 second quicker on the last lap. What were we around this lap? Of course, we were attacking this lap. We did a 1:28.5. Pretty much even over the last lap. Is Verstappen coming again? Verstappen's coming again now. I don't think we have the tyre left on this car to do that again. So there we go. Verstappen has pulled back that 1 second already. He does have a lot in that tyre. Whether the AI is going to use all of that tyre till the end of the race. I mean, the temperatures are pretty cool, so I would expect to see him keep pushing as Hamilton crosses line. 4 laps left. Vettel now with 4 laps to go as well. 2.5 seconds. Van Dorn is currently 15th as well. His tyres are getting a little bit cool. We're just going to stick him into auto drive until the end of the race. It should be able to get through to the end of the race. I don't think the AI is going to mess up from 28%. As Verstappen is now within 2 seconds of Sebastian Vettel. 3 laps to go. At least for Hamilton, it will be 3 laps to go from Vettel now. This medium tyre should see us through to the end of the race. We don't have much room to push on it though. We will have some room to push with the fuel for the last lap or 2 at least. As Verstappen is now 1.5 seconds behind. Is he just going all out? What's he doing at the moment? 1:28.5. He's about half a second quicker than us. We do know we have a little bit of pace in this car to go for it if we need to. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go push. I think we've got enough in the tyre to go. Stay ahead here. 1.3 seconds. If we can keep that gap going into the last lap, I think second will be ours. Oh, Verstappen closes up. Oh, is he starting to go for it? He is. Look at Verstappen going. Verstappen is going for it here. He's within a second. We do have some fuel to use now. With Vettel. Hamilton is on the final lap. Vettel is going to go on to the final lap now. It is 9/10 the gap between us. Verstappen did a 1:28.2. About half a second quicker. Unless he makes a lunging dive. I think it's going to be all over. Verstappen is now recovering. We're going to have to switch back the fuel at some point over the course of this lap though. These mediums are going to go to the end of the race. I think we can just go in attack mode. I think we're going to make it until the end of the race. Verstappen trying to close up desperately. He's braking late into the corners. But Vettel pulls away, heading around. He's going to grab another marvellous second place here. What a result in Russia for Sebastian Vettel. Van Dorn a long way back, but Verstappen picks up 3rd. Alonso is 4th. Hulkenberg will get 5th ahead of his teammate. Leclerc is 6th place. Perez an amazing 7th place. Newgarden will grab a 10th place here. He's all by himself here coming across the line. Great point scoring for the 2 Haas cars. Perez beating the Works Renault. Obviously Haas does have the Renault engine in, beating the 2 Works Renaults. It's a race where the Renaults actually got the strategy. Alright, they didn't take more pit stops than anyone else, but they still finished down in 8th and 9th. I mean, we know their engine is not the best at the moment. They've sort of squandered their early season pace when they should have been right up there. They've still got the 2nd best car overall, I think. Just, I don't know what it is with Renault at all. Just something about it with Renault, but there we go. Vettel is 2nd. Mercedes with a really strong race won't put them ahead on the constructors standings, as it is. There's 41 points now between Hamilton and Leclerc. Max Verstappen is in 3rd, then Vettel is currently 4th place, just ahead of Fernando Alonso. Nico Hulkenberg is 6th. Daniel Ricciardo has moved up into 7th as Albon drops into 8th, and then we've got the 2 McLarens rounding out the top 10. And then we've got our driver Stoffel van Dorn in 11th place. We're currently still 4th. Mercedes now have swung that gap the other way. A 21-point gap now from them to Ferrari behind. Red Bull 125 points behind Mercedes, 3rd place. And we're up into 4th. We've got a big gap. McLaren 5th over Renault 6th place. That is not good. Those points from Haas move them up into 7th place as well. That is a big jump for them. AlphaTauri, though, still the only team to score points this season. That was just a really good race for us again. Vettel, I'm guessing his stats are going to start degrading at some point. He's 37 years old. He's getting a little bit old, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. He came 2nd overall. That is £1.3 million coming out of the bank once again. We just get the results confirmed, and let's just have a look to see what the interview is, which is from David Coulthard. Qualification was a struggle. You definitely say that one is going to take it off that, but that's all right. We're in good stead with the chairman, and there we go. So yeah, we head to Japan next. It's only 10 days away. There's no chance of us getting our next upgrade done. I don't know what the AI's got in store, but hopefully, look, our engine's dropped even further down now. Eek. Eek, eek. I mean, what we're doing is a front wing, and then we're going with our engine, which will lead us into next season with a nice, strong engine as well. New engine for next season will then be based off of that. So, come next season, our engine should be back up to speed, but for the rest of this season, our engine's going to be a little bit far behind. Might be a little bit of a struggle, but hopefully we can just keep going, get some more top 10s. Hopefully Vettel can keep fighting for podiums. I don't know whether that's going to be possible, but as we saw from this race, even without the engine, we're still pretty decent around some of these tracks, and hopefully we can keep that going. But that is it for this episode. I will see you down the road in Yokohama for the Japanese Grand Prix, but until then, goodbye.